All right, Jaden, are you ready to see the 19th installment of a Marvel franchise? So what did you think of the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp together?
It's really fun, but I felt something missing from it, and I don't really know how to explain it. But okay, we talked about this. This is the whole problem with this movie. Is that we talked about this before it came out. The whole problem with the movie is that Infinity War just came out,
and we're just waiting for the next Infinity War.
Yeah, and like Infinity War was really good, and who cares about Ant-Man? Who cares about this movie right now?
Really?
It doesn't matter. No,
you're right.
Okay, I enjoyed the movie, but everything that's happening in the movie I don't care about because I know I enjoyed it. I had fun. Like, I cared about the story, what was going on, but like, to me, whatever happens in that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Because all I really care about is Infinity War. I'm just getting past this movie so I can see Infinity War.
See, that's why that's why I liked this one. Because I felt like there wasn't you're right, because the whole time, even before we saw the movie, I was like, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. I just want to have a good time. And that's all it was. It was super silly and fun, and they did all these cool sequences, and they thought of all this fun scenes that they could have used with his powers and all this stuff. And I thought it was so much fun. I thought this movie was delightful. And it kind of understood that I was like, this is filler. That's all this is. So let's fill. That's it. It didn't need to make. You're right. It kind of had this empty feeling, but you can't blame that on Infinity War. But I think this movie still handled itself well, knowing that we just need another Marvel movie. And I thought it was such a blast. I thought I had so much fun with it from beginning to end. I don't think there was a scene for me that it was like out of place at all. Yeah,
there's no scene really that stands out to me that's not good. But the jokes for me is a lot. Most, I would say, are very just handed out, or what's the word? It's very just like,
it was cheap humor.
Yeah, like it was just like forced.
Yeah, it was snippy remark.
Like
people are arguing with each other.
What's their little shop? What's their shop called?
Ex-con something.
Ex-con something. The first time they go there, he says a joke and like it cuts over to what's his name?
The Mexican guy.
No, what's the main guy?
Oh, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Yeah. It cuts to him and he just says something, and it's so like out of place for me. Some of it is. Mm-hmm. Some of it was funny, and I didn't understand a lot of it because I don't remember the first Ant-Man at all. I don't remember that movie at all.
I watched that one recently.
I couldn't tell you anything about that movie.
I watched that one recently,
and so
this one, I think this one's better.
Things were brought up that I was just like, I don't get that. But I mean, some stuff was kind of what's the word?
There was a lot of callbacks.
Callbacks, that's the word. Yeah.
Lots of callbacks, but it wasn't. That never felt out of place. What I liked, but also what I think is the problem with the humor, is the physical humor is the funniest stuff. I thought this movie was hilarious. We were laughing so much, but it was only at like what they were doing with the physical actions. It was all the action that was happening and the circumstances of the situations they were in that was funny. It wasn't necessarily their dialogue. But you're right, there's those scenes where all the characters are arguing with each other in the room. Like, you're right, there's a scene where they go to the store and for the first time, and they're all talking and they're not focusing on the plot, and it's borderline frustrating.
Yeah, because it goes on for
a while,
over a minute.
Yeah, you're right, and that's kind of just that's the cheap humor.
That's
yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, let's get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, like the beginning I thought was so fun, like the very opening where you see Paul Rudd hanging out with his daughter, and they build this like really crazy cardboard fort. I was like, this is so stupid and amazing, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it. I was smiling the whole time. I thought it was great.
Yeah, everything came around.
Yeah. I thought it was a little better. I honestly thought it was a little better than the first. Just because the first... Okay, the first one is just the paint-by-numbers Marvel movie. This one kind of was, but this one still was a little weirder. Well, the first one's just all the humors, the dialogue stuff. They didn't play much with the physical comedy at all. And then it's just generic villain, generic plot. It's over. This one, some of the same stuff, some of the same paint by numbers, but it knows that, so it still found ways to surprise me. There was still, like, there's the scene where, like, they go to the elementary school because they're after something. They're trying to get something from Paul Rudd's daughter, and then something I liked throughout the film is that his suit wasn't working. He had a new suit, and it just kept not working, which I like because they weren't at their full place with their powers. He was kind of weak through the film, so I thought, like, yeah, they can't really beat the villain because everything's screwing up for him, kept it exciting.
Yeah.
And then the whole time they're in the school, like, it keeps messing up and he has to disguise himself as a kid. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Uncomfortable.
It was so funny. I thought that was so great.
What did you think of the villain?
It, like, wasn't a villain. Did you get that feeling?
Yeah, she had like a reasonable...
She had a reasonable motive, and I agreed with her motive, but they weren't villainous. She was just like she was like a trained assassin for a lot of her life because she had these abilities, and pretty much they kind of end up, like, spoilers real quick for the villain, is that they just kind of end up being nice people who are just after for themselves, and in reality they don't really want to be the bad guys. So they weren't really
I guess
villains.
you would call the villain Walton Goggins. Would you call him the villain?
Who's Walton Goggins?
Walton Goggins. You don't know Walton Goggins?
No.
I think that's how you say his name.
You mean Lawrence Fishburne?
No.
The Asian guy?
No.
What?
The dude from, like, The Hateful Eight and all.
Oh, yeah. I didn't understand him.
Yeah, he's just another obstacle.
He's just another obstacle that keeps popping up. He still kept it exciting because I like all the scenes he's in because he's awesome. But I didn't know what he. I actually didn't know what he was after. I just thought, I guess he's the big.
Yeah,
he's like the side.
Why did he want?
He wanted to because he's a businessman. So he was the business guy who wanted to use it for money, and then the other people wanted to use it for their own personal gain.
He said at the beginning he would give what's her name, Hope. He would give Hope $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just a businessman, basically.
Yeah, it was just like a business deal, and he because what everyone's after is this quantum science object that will let them go into the quantum realm, so that way they can do whatever they want. They can research it, whatever. It's quantum science. Everyone's after it, but all the characters want it for their personal reasons, like. It's about Michael Douglas, Hank Pym and Hope trying to find their mother, and then the villain's after it because it's going to help her, it's going to cure her, and so you have every reason to care about their motive, and then there's the henchman that comes along and just wants to sell it, which you don't want him to get it. Yeah.
I guess in the spoilers, it's kind of quick, but.
Yeah, but before spoilers, like, we both liked the movie. Would you?
Yeah, I liked
it.
Yeah. But in the spoilers, I guess the mom had powers for no reason.
They didn't.
You just assume she developed them in.
Yeah.
The
quantum,
whatever.
In a single line, she says, "Yeah, I evolved here."
Oh, she does.
And it's not explained exactly what that means or how she did, because it happens at the end of the movie. So you just see it real quick and then that's it.
But it solves the problem.
Yes.
So it's kind of just a cheat, I guess. That's how I see it. It's kind of like, just give her powers so she can just.
Okay. Do you see it as do you see it as like a cheat in like a bad way? Because to me, it's like it makes sense why she'd get that. It doesn't really bother me.
It makes sense, but like
everyone's happy in the end. For a minute.
It's not like a setup and payoff.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's not
there's not something you
yeah.
see early in the movie that could help her,
It's
but
not,
she's like refusing.
right.
Which I mean, I guess he was saying, Lawrence Fishburne's character was saying that she could help her.
But you're
He
right.
was
They don't say it's not a setup
But
and
like
payoff
she just
because
randomly comes out of the quantum whatever and heals her.
what probably would have helped is, so they bring up at the early point in the film that she's able to kind of give messages to Paul Rudd that helps them solve the mission, and like she can go into someone's body. She's kind of acting through these powers in the quantum realm. Like she kind of is able to do some things because of the technology they're using. And so you've already brought up that she's able to do some kind of abilities, and they even have a point where they can kind of have a conversation with her. So that would have been the point where, like, yeah, you can bring up that maybe she has these powers, and it gets more and more frustrating that, like, that the one thing that could save the girl is now gone, but hey, it's actually not because we have this power.
Okay.
That probably would have helped, but you're right. It's something that's all brought up at the very, very end. Like they reveal in a line that she has powers, and then they're used in the next 5 minutes.
Okay. My favorite part of the entire movie.
The entire movie. Okay.
Like not necessarily scene, but like aspect of it is the ants.
Yeah.
I freaking love that these ants have these lasers on their back and they're like welding.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
It's really great.
It's like a cartoon, but I don't mean that in a bad way, because I know we describe things as cartoons in a bad way.
No, it's cartoon in a good way.
But it's cartoon
a fun,
in like a fun, like
it's the whole making fun of that. Yeah, this is really stupid, but we're gonna use it in a good way. It's funny, it's silly, and it's weird.
Silly,
and
it's fun,
I like that weird stuff, and it's cool because you're right. One of my favorite lines is when they use one of the big ants to stay at the house, so that way Paul Rudd doesn't get in trouble for being out on house arrest.
Yeah.
And they keep cutting back to it, and it's so funny every time they do. Like they cut back to it, and the ant is just doing everything Paul Rudd would do. So the ant is literally in the house playing drums, and Michael Douglas is like,
they
"What are you, 15?" It's great. It's super funny. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. How about that post-credit scene?
That was weird.
A little obvious.
Well, it felt obvious, but it was frustrating because... So the post-credit scene is it does the whole Avengers thing where everyone's fading away, but it happens when Paul Rudd is inside the quantum realm. And everyone that can help him out...
He's supposed to collect some stuff to help... What's her name? Ghost?
Yeah.
To help Ghost. And he's supposed to get pulled out of it, but they disappear.
No one can help him
So
get out.
literally nobody can help him.
We know he's in the next
Nobody
movie.
knows everybody who knows that he's in there is gone. And we already know he's supposed to be in Infinity War Part 2. So it's like, is he just gonna come back? Like, I'm sure the only way he could be in the movie is if either everybody
comes back like very
everybody
quickly.
has to come back in Infinity War Part 2.
And he's only going to be in like the last 5 minutes or
So he's
something.
either going to be at the very end or in the first 30 minutes of Part 2, everyone's going to come back.
That was my prediction after the end
That's
of
probably
Infinity
what's
War
gonna
2
happen.
is like everything.
And to me, that's kind of just, I mean, we're talking about Infinity War now, but like that's kind of disappointing because everyone dies, and then at the very beginning of the movie, everyone's alive again.
Well, not talking about Infinity War, it just makes that end credit scene make me a little... I'm just confused.
The end credit scene makes me worried.
It makes me worry. It's like, how... There's no way he can get out. There's no way. My suspension of disbelief is gone.
It's impossible unless everybody brings him back. I mean, unless...
everyone is brought back.
Everyone's brought back.
So the post-credit scene was kind of weird, but I knew they would do the whole Avengers thing, which was fine.
Yeah, I knew they were going to do that.
One thing I thought the whole film is, I hope you agree, is how well, there are not a lot of action scenes. It's really just a bunch of action at the very, very end. It's a good build up to essentially a 30-minute car sequence. But that's fine because I do like these long, like
It's fun.
I like when the third act is kind of just one thing. It's a big sequence that leads places. It's a characters after one thing and they have a series of obstacles just constantly in the way. It builds the tension. It's like a rubber band and you're stretching it. That's what this movie did, and it did it really well. I thought it was a lot of fun. The action I thought was super fun. I could see everything that was going on. It was easy to follow along. It wasn't chaotic. It was used its environment well. It was just super fun to watch. So I like the action, and I hope you agree.
Yeah. I think that's all I have to say.
Well, what else did you like about the film? Any scenes or anything that sticks out to you?
No, I like all the stuff with what's his name, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Scott and his daughter. I like all that stuff.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Did you like the Wasp? Because it's really her movie. She kind of does the most stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good. She's fun.
How would you rate this amongst other Marvel films? More specifically, all the Marvel films that have come out recently that have all actually been consistently better than the past Marvel movies.
Yeah. What is there? Infinity War, Ragnarok.
It's like Ragnarok, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Guardians 2, and Infinity War have all just been like those are like
consistently good.
Those are my favorite Marvel movies.
I'd put Ant-Man towards the bottom of all those.
This one?
Yeah.
Of the bottom of all those, okay.
I still like I still liked it.
Yeah.
But I'd put it towards the bottom of all those.
Yeah, like out of 10?
7.
Okay. I'd give it a very, very solid 8.
7.5.
Because we haven't complained too much about it because it's all so entertaining.
No, the only bad thing I can say about the movie is that none of it really matters because it's just filler for Infinity War.
Exactly, but that's
really my only complaint with it.
It's not just that; is that that kind of brings the movie down a bit because it did feel so by the numbers and so just. This is a good, entertaining film that I might watch one more time in my life. I'll probably see it in theaters again, and then I'm not gonna buy it, or I will buy it and I'll never watch it for a while. So yeah, it was a very just like solid, entertaining movie. Can't say much more or less because you're right. It's like it didn't do anything wrong, so I can't hate it. But I had a lot of fun, and
it was really
I think
fun.
it'll be a good time to go see again. So I recommend it to people. I like these movies.
Recommend it. It's really fun.
It's nice to be positive about a movie for once.
Yeah.
After that horror that was Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Bye. Cut the cameras. Cut.